Because nobody, no group of men have got the will, have got the capacity to do more for this country.
You see the whole of it as of land.
And yet the courage to say, no, we change course.
Those who believe that when I have left the government as Prime Minister, that I've gone into permanent retirement, really should have their heads examined. This is my country. This is my life. This is my people. You will trample over us, over our dead bodies. We dug our toes in, we will finish.
Result of the Tanjong Pagar Division. Mr. Lam Tian, 760. Mr. Lý Quang Diệu, 6,029. Mr. Lim Sek Tiong, 908. I declare Mr. Lý Quang Diệu elected for the Tanjong Pagar Division.
Saudara-saudara, saudari-saudari setanah air, merdeka! Lagi sekali yang bersemangat merdeka!
This morning, the new constitution was promulgated. We begin a new chapter in the history of Singapore. We, the people of Singapore, have decided to run the affairs of Singapore. Unlike the previous rulers, we have no compensation or abolition terms. Unlike the previous local ministers, we have no iron mines in Ipoh to provide for a rainy day. We have no personal future apart from your future. Your joys and your sorrows are ours. We share the same future, be it good, indifferent, or bad. And so it is our duty to see that it is a bright and a cheerful future.
The rise in the standard of living of our people cannot be created overnight. The good things of life do not fall down from the sky. They can only come by hard work over a long time. We have in our party men whose integrity and ability have been proved over the years in the struggle to build up the mass movement of the PAP. Their dedication to the cause of an independent, democratic, non-communist, socialist Malaya gives them the drive that will make the machinery of government work efficiently on your behalf.
But all the planning and effort on the part of your government will not produce the desired results unless you, the people, will support and sustain the work of your government. We shall do our duty to our people, but our people must do their duty to themselves and their fellow citizens. Lastly, let it not be forgotten that we have been elected to govern on behalf of all the people of Singapore. The paramount interest is that of the people as a whole. There may be times when in the interest of the whole community, we may have to take steps which are unpopular with a section of the community. On such occasions, remember, the principle which guides our actions is that the paramount interest of the whole community must prevail.
We never run away from a fight and never will. This is the only country we've got. And I say to them, they can chase out the British governors because they can all retire with good pensions in Britain. But they can't chase us out because we have nowhere to go and we will fight. So I say, over the next few weeks, as you see how things progress, remember this: the ultimate fight is between the communists and those who can put up a challenge, give them a run for their money. We know them, and I say this without immodesty. We worked with them, that's why we know them. We know all their tactics, we understand the mechanics of the game, and we intend to ensure that the country survives. In August last year, right here, they were blaring with shouts and slogans, you know, as we were speaking, and we allowed them to speak. This is the communists. Well, I say to them, carry on. The open argument, the open debate. And I say, not we will win, but righteousness and the interests of the people will triumph. Will triumph over evil and deceit, provided we are always united together. If we allow this kind of stupidity to ruin the country, then I say we deserve to perish. And I say it is your duty and mine to make sure it doesn't perish. We let it go on, doesn't do any harm, provided they don't take up stones and sticks and guns. But my last word of exhortation is, we have so much at stake. We have gone so far to secure the country. I say rally around and keep these evil forces. You see, they are so ashamed of themselves, they have switched the light off. Look at that. They are cowards, that's what they are. Cowards. They switched the lights off. Look at that. Are these men who are going to lead you to peace and prosperity or to ruination and perdition? Look at them. God knows what they are doing in the dark. When I say this, they succeed on the basis of intimidation. And I say, if they make the error that we are easily intimidated, then they have a lot to be sorry for, because, you know, we have so much at stake, we can't afford to be intimidated. Chinai, check the Jim Hadiji, so the Kantan and Kaisim, by Tyson E. Kinaji, Paisa, K. Saji, Ding Beki Tao, Kotin Singapore Miao. Otwa, Tang Lang, Tuabo, Hunan, Long Tong Liao Gai, Lian Ding Tong, Tamu, Boling, Hu Bai, Bohi Bang. Lan Tibet Chui is Yaki, look why Teju de Buntoi. He comes to me, Lan Xiao Viet, Babun Kao Yok, Bo Sing Jin, Lam Yung Tuao, Mai Pang Chan, Lam Yung Tuao. Lan a 太多是讲片，你开发咗啲团队相关平等，受英文教育、受中文教育、马来文教育当中是平等，无人相信小弟要消灭华文教育，小弟家己读书率读当人字，三个囡仔读是当人学当啊，讲什么 ？It's a new kind of fight. Like the Federation, you know, weak, open front, but very strong underground. They all go deep and spread underground. Into the schools, into the Old Boys Association, and so on. And I think we would do Singapore a disservice. I repeat this, it is a disservice to let that communist symbol of Barisan forever remain a myth. Let this myth be broken, because you must not allow it to remain in men's minds, or they are afraid. The myth of invincibility, the masses are on their side, is all utter rot. 2 times they were going to be knocked down already. I stopped it. I say, let us, the people, exorcise them from the minds of the people of Singapore. For once and for all, show them where the mass of the people in Singapore stand. And don't waste your vote on this alliance, chaps. They are a dead duck, you know. So I say, look, rally around. You want a fair Singapore. I tell the non-Chinese this. 4.5 years we have looked after the city. We have never discriminated against any man on account of either race, language, or religion. You look at Barisan and I ask you, a party that is prepared openly to do that. An open chauvinist appeal. Nanyang University graduates, Nanyang culture, this, that and the other, ignore Malay, ignore Indians. Communism in Southeast Asia cannot be won on the basis of immigrant chauvinism. If it is won, it will be won by native, domiciled communists. And I see the danger is the Indonesian Communist Party, not Chinese communist chauvinism. That is, you know, long-term analysis. There's only one point he, A.P. Raja and the rest have been making. That's water. That's a drought on, they say, I'm responsible. You know, they say, oh, if they were in charge, they'll use all the money that we have got and build a pipeline to Johor. What utter rot. That pipeline will not be completed before 1967. Enormous plans, enormous big tubes, you know, metal pipes being laid over miles. You want to lay the pipeline before you lay even 1/3 of it, the rains have come down next month, the drought will break. And I'll tell you why there was no pipeline to Johor earlier. Because in 1954, the agreement, water agreement with Johor ended. A.P. Raja was Progressive Party city councillor. They were in charge. What did they do to renew the water agreement? Nothing. Mr. McNeese, they allowed Sir Percy McNeese to write a letter to the Johor government saying that they will pay 3 cents 1,000 gallons of raw water from the river. 3 cents 1,000 gallons. For no rhyme or reason, water from heaven, you pay. No other precedent in the world. 1959, right up till 59, Lim Yew Hock was in charge. He never renewed the water agreement, just did nothing. I took over from Hong Eng Guan, National Development. I cancelled him off because the man was doing bad things. No, I mean, stop it. First thing I did was check up the water. We increased the capacity at Tebrau from 30 million to 45 million. Increased the pumping. We entered into negotiations immediately for a new water agreement. They wanted 7 cents a thousand gallons. Yeah? 7 cents a thousand gallons. I had to see the Tunku. In 1961, 62, I had to see the Tunku. I said, look, this is not fair. So finally, Tunku says, well, now, and since Percy McNeice wrote a letter long ago to pay 3 cents per thousand gallons, you better pay 3 cents. So we had to pay 3 cents. And it was only after we signed an agreement that the pipeline started being laid. We did it, not Mr. A.P. Raju. That's a fact, you know. Whatever I say, I like to support with facts, documents. I never like to believe in the memory. Human memory is an elastic thing. Whenever it's unpleasant, you forget it. My memory is on the magnetic tape. Whatever I say, if we forget, we can play back the tape. It's there on the record. And if I want to play an election starter, I just switch on the water and forget all about this. And I say, look, win or lose, you got to win or lose with a sane and a stable base. Otherwise, you can't govern this place. And I say, if I lose, I'm satisfied. Because nobody, no group of men have got the will, have got the capacity to do more for this country. I tell you that frankly. To do more for themselves, yes. But you know, put your whole heart into this and really fight it out. You know, I'll be quite frank with you. I mean, my colleagues, I'm proud of them. I'm not a one-man show. You see my picture everywhere. It makes it easier. You symbolize it in one man. You know? But don't believe it's a one-man show. Cannot be done. Without Dr. Go to run the finance thing, and an enormous amount of knowledge, you know, foresight analysis. In every department, there is talent. You know, Mr. Yong gave up a lucrative job with the Overseas Assurance as their general manager. He's a graduate of Raffles College, executive talent. That is why today there is forward planning in the schools, that teachers are coming out as fast as the schools. And every boy is in school. And 2 years more, free secondary education. Malays, 43%. Malays, Dayaks, Dusun, Murus. Chinese, 41%. Indians, 10%. The others, Eurasians, Ceylonese, and so on. And I say we got to work with each other. No group can oppress the other. We work together. And you want Singapore to remain as it is, a sane, stable place. Vote a lot of stable people into office. The only symbol that didn't change over 10 years. The only party that stuck to its principles through good times and bad times. Never wavered.
Why should Dr. Go spend money buying expensive equipment, training soldiers, sailors, and airmen when he's a thrifty soul? He was defense minister 65, 67 to get it started. He is one of the most tough-minded, resolute, and able administrators I've known.
I said, you started from nothing. It cost us billions. I just put down defense expenditure, well, from 2 to 10% of GNP, because no country gives you its defense expenditure. We, at the end of, let's say 1980, when if there's trouble, no, I don't think there'll be trouble for 5 years. I hope so anyway. At the end of 1980, you press the button, you'll have well, let's be conservative, 250,000 armed forces. Whoever wants to take us on must have 750,000. That's quite a lot, you know. And we can afford this only by a national service army. And what do the opposition tell you? Abolish it. Have a regular army. You know, regular soldiers, so they go older and flabbier every year, you see. Singapore can't maintain a 100,000 man army, will go bankrupt. Having been trained 2 years, he's out producing. Every year he practices, keeps in trim, learns how to roll, learns how to attack, how to duck. And I say, this is an investment. Not one that produces returns in interest, but one that produces an indirect return in your security and the confidence, not only of overseas investors, but of our own people. This is a real test for you, as well as for the Singapore government and the governments around the region and the superpowers, because we happen to be in a strategic position.